Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Spline Starter Series. In this episode, we are going to create our first camera, talk about lighting, and add a couple of effects to enhance our scene. Let's get started. First, let's create the camera. Click the plus button and choose the camera. As you can see at the bottom left, we now have a camera preview. We can also select our camera in the Properties panel and view our scene from the camera's perspective. Let's adjust the camera angle to get the desired view. Now let's talk about lighting. Click on the directional light in the scene. In the Properties panel, you have a few options to modify the light. The first one is the color of the light, which you can change to any color. Let's stick with white for now. Next is the intensity, which you can increase or decrease. We'll use the default intensity. You also have the option to toggle shadows on or off. The resolution of the shadows can be adjusted with higher resolutions, providing better quality but slower performance. We'll choose a normal resolution for now. Adjusting the size of your light will blur or sharpen your shadows. Increasing the size will make shadows blurrier, while decreasing it will make them sharper. The blur option will further adjust the clarity of your shadows, and penumbra controls the blurriness across the distance of the shadow. Now that we've discussed the light settings, let's position our light to cast shadows on the bottom left side of our keyboard. Next, let's talk about the effects settings. First, enable the effects setting to access various options. The first effect we want to talk about is depth of field. Depth of field creates an effect where only objects within a specific distance from the camera are sharp and in focus, while those outside this range appear blurred. When we turn it on, everything will be blurred, but we can fix this by setting the correct focus distance. Click on the focus icon and then click on the object you want to focus on. Now our keyboard is in focus, and we can adjust the depth of field and blur sliders for the desired effect. Next, we'll use the bloom effect. Turning it on will brighten our scene. To control this, we'll decrease the intensity and blur scale and increase the threshold to make the bloom less visible. Finally, we'll add a bit of brightness and contrast to our scene. Adjust the brightness to 0.05 and add some contrast to enhance the overall look. We won't be using other effects in this project, but we'll cover them in future lessons. Lastly, we can add ambient shadows for more realism. Click on the ambient shadow option to see how it adds more shadows to where the objects touch each other. You can adjust the shadow's intensity, bias, and quality to see how it affects the objects. And that's a wrap for today's tutorial. In the next episode, we'll dive into state and events in Spline and add interactions to our keyboard. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.